Welcome to another ARCWARE webinar. Today we have the absolute honor to welcome Kinerama to our next ARCWARE Spotlight webinar. If anyone would like to see these fine people. On my left we have Peru, and on my right we have Alba.
Hi guys.
They're from Kinerama, and
Thank you so much.
they are responsible for a very exciting picture streaming project called Vissor, which is a real estate platform that was made with the Unreal Engine, and it combines all sorts of different technologies, and it goes far beyond a lot of the different types of ArcViz projects that we've seen in the past, which is why we're very excited for them to join us in this ARCWARE Spotlight and explain how this entire project came to be, explain specific decisions that they made. Why do you do it like this? Why the Unreal Engine? Why also go into analytics, and why turn this into a complete platform as opposed to only having enabling people to walk through exactly. So tons of fantastic questions to answer. And so today we're going to go through this. We have a few small housekeeping topics that the people who joined early might have already heard. We have a chat function. This is where you could talk, react, whatever it is that you want to say. You can drop that into the chat. As we are expecting a lot of questions to appear today, you can drop those in the question tab that is next to the chat. This makes it a little bit easier for us to, make sure that everyone's question is answered. Some of the questions we will discuss as Peru and Alba are discussing or sharing their presentation. Some of those will have to wait until the end because it's better that our presenters today have a nice flow over having every question answered immediately. Then I feel like we don't need to go over who Manolis and myself are.
Yeah.
If you don't know who Manolis is, then you clearly have not watched any of our previous webinars, and you have never had a question about the Unreal Engine or pixel streaming.
Quick version.
So, Manolis, co-founder of ARCWARE, he answers all of your questions when you get stuck with the Unreal Engine or pixel streaming. And my name is Dirk, and I take care of all the marketing stuff here at ARCWARE. Then we have no more serious housekeeping. Our goal is to keep everything within an hour, but if we take a little bit longer, then that's obviously perfectly fine. We hope that you have some snacks and some refreshments available next to you. And if you do, as audience members, then we can now give the words to our two fabulous guests. So take it away.
Thank you, Dirk.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting us to this event. Give us the opportunity to show Vissor. This project is a project made between two studios, Kinerama and Bwow Studio. Bwow Studio is a studio specialized in product design and strategy and user experience design. And Vissor is a highly realistic and immersive platform for the industry of real estate, where residential developers can show or even manage apartments or flats to their clients, improving or optimizing the sale process. The most interesting thing is that it's accessible 24/7 from anywhere and any device. So you don't need to have a high-end PC. Now you can use your mobile or your tablet without losing the high quality. So this was very important for us. You don't need to show the apartment physically, saving the, for example, developers a lot of time spent looking for an appointment with a client or coordinating the travel everywhere. And the user or the client can test different material, finishing combination in real time, so that helps to reduce the doubt of buying this apartment or the flat. Next one. Vissor is not just a tool or platform for real estate. It is designed to integrate other companies, such as interior designers or, for example, furniture brands. It's a video. This establishes a collaborative relationship between all these parts, where all three benefit and generate business. Developers can hire interior designs who, for example, can use a number of specific brands that collaborate with them, and that these furniture brands, for example, can provide us with 3D models to include in the scenarios. So all these parts benefit each other.
Well, an important question here would be why pixel streaming? Probably all of us know pixel streaming and you know the benefits of that. But it's very important to realize that pixel streaming today is the only solution which gives us high quality experiences anywhere, anytime, just platform. And this is very important, mostly because we are on a real estate platform. So high quality, for example, is something so crucial for us. When I say high quality, I mean high quality visuals and also high quality interactions, because as you know, there are other possibilities, as for example, 360 tours or WebGL interactive experiences, where you can have one of these two points, but not both. If you have, for example, a 360 tour, you have high quality visuals, but you don't have interactions. If you have WebGL experiences, you have interactions, but not high quality visuals. So we have been working with Unreal Engine for more than 9 years. We really know the possibilities of Unreal Engine. And since the beginning, we realized that the power of Unreal Engine was so important for this project. So the idea of having an Unreal Engine project running everywhere and anytime and on any device, it's completely awesome. The day we realized that pixel streaming exists was something incredible, and we really knew that we want to use it. But then the second question is why ARCWARE? Because as you know, there are other platforms of pixel streaming, and we decided to use ARCWARE. When we start working with pixel streaming, we made a research of all the possibilities. We try a lot of them. We make some tests with a lot of them. And after that, we realized that ARCWARE was the best option for us. Why? Because it's very easy to use. Most of you know that, and we realized that since the beginning. They have their own infrastructure, and this is amazing because it has a better latency and also is more reliable. They have very good support and a very good community, so it's awesome when you have any problem, you have any question, you want to solve anything, you have places and where to ask these questions, and it's awesome. And also it's very easy to control and scale your projects. You really need to buy more concurrency, or if you need something specific for any project, that's possible. And in general, it gave us more warranty and reliability in general, so we decided to move to ARCWARE. The process of developing something for pixel streaming and for ARCWARE, I think it was similar than other process where you need to make things that you have never done before. We start studying very carefully the documentation. It's awesome, the documentation that ARCWARE has. It has a lot of information, a lot of code examples, and I think everything is very clear. So we study since that. Then we review the hardware template. It's awesome to have an Unreal Engine template, which is already set up, which runs perfectly, and you can just download it to see carefully, to understand, to study it. Even if you need, you could copy and take things for your project, or you just understand everything and then to remake everything by your own. So this was a very important part for our process. And then, as always, on this kind of new developing process, we start simple. I think it's very important to start simple and to get the complexity during time. So we start just only with an hardware links, with a shared link, and with a very, very simple project. And we make some tests to discover which elements or which concepts of user experience should we move or should we think about. For example, the mouse cursor, we test without mouse cursor, for example, we test with the Unreal Engine mouse cursor, or we test with the regular web page mouse cursor. And after some tests, we realize which one was the best path for us. And we make this test, and once we have a project, a simple project running well with the shared ID and with a good user experience, we start trying to embed the hardware link in Webflow. That's because since the beginning, we knew we want Vissor to be in a web page, because we need some information of the user, if, for example, is connecting since a PC or a touch device, to tell directly this information to Unreal Engine and to adapt the UI and to adapt some interactions to this case. And also some ideas we have for next steps for Vissor really will need to be embedded on a web. So we start making a very simple web in Webflow, and we make some tries to embed the web SDK in Webflow. And once we have a very simple project running in Webflow, we start to gradually increasing the complexity of the process until the app we are having today. There was a very important question in the process, that it was, should we draw the UI in Unreal or should we draw the UI in web? And it was difficult to answer this question, because we knew that, for example, when you draw the UI in web, you have some advantages. For example, you don't have no latency at all, because the UI is drawn in web, so you don't have the pixel streaming latency. You don't have any kind of resolution problems, because automatically adapts to the resolution of the final device. And also, when you use any kind of tool to make your web, it's very easy to have a responsive behavior, and it's very easy to have flexible layout for that. But the disadvantages is that you need to code this UI for web. So if you don't have this knowledge, you have to buy for it, and it's not something easy to do it. And also, the process is longer, and you need to connect with Unreal Engine, which becomes this process much complex. On the other hand, if we use the UI in a Unreal Engine, if we draw the UI in a Unreal Engine, we have a very flexible workflow. Everything is very easy, because you just make the interactions, you make your blueprints, you have your buttons, you can test everything in the editor. Everything is very easy. And then the connection between both is much faster and much easier. So we have to make a decision between both. And one thing that I think makes us to decide is that we had a very complex idea of some interactions in Vissor, specifically in the designer mode, because we have 4 modes. I will talk about it a little bit later. But in the designer mode, we have a lot of interactions and a lot of things that would be very difficult to move to UI in web. Because, for example, when we have a UI of some materials or some styles, we make an automate process to use the thumbnails and the information of the level variant set, for example, in Unreal Engine, directly in our buttons in Unreal Engine. I mean, if you have a project with 6 kind of different materials, we didn't want to draw manually the 6 buttons of these 6 materials. We made an automated process where the UI listen the level variation, change everything or recreate buttons depending on the level variance. This kind of automate process is much difficult to do it connected with web, because it's not only to connect, okay, I press this button in web, so tell this message to Unreal. Unreal should say to the web, okay, draw these 4 buttons with this text and with these textures, etc. So after studying the situation, we decide, okay, let's make an MVP with the best platform we can imagine and drawing it in Unreal. It's going to be faster, easier, and we can manage it perfectly. And once we test it, once we are sure that it's working fine, once we can make a lot of tests with and research with people and users, then we can end up with a final product, and then we can try to move it to web.
All right.
Another thing very important for us is user experience. One more? Yeah. User experience is something very important for us since the beginning. Our students that are here today know that, because we like to talk about it. I think in ArcWare, in the experience made for ArcWare, is something that normally is not taken in account. User experience is something very, very important. And one thing, for example, which is very important to think, is that our users are not gamers, or they could be, but we can't assume that all the users are gamers. So it's very normal to see amazing ArcWare experiences with a lot of interactions, with a lot of UIs, with a lot of amazing things. But if you take a user that has never tried this kind of experience and you tell him to try this kind of UI, it can be too much. So we wanted to be sure since the beginning that our platform should be very easy and very comfortable to any kind of user, because we have a lot of different possible users. Our target is very wide, so we can't assume that we have a very concrete user. So the first decision we made is, okay, I think there could be a lot of different moods when the user face this kind of platform. Maybe it's a very young guy who wants to interact with a lot of things, or maybe it's a person who only has 5 minutes and he doesn't want to interact with a lot of things. So we think at the beginning on different kind of moods, and then we prepare a different mode for this kind of moods. For example, imagine that you are a user that you just want to take a walk through the space. You just want to interact with some physical things that you would interact in a physical visit of any house. Like, for example, opening doors, switching on off different lights, interact with curtains, this kind of physical interaction. And that's it. You just want to take a walk freely to go wherever you want and to interact with this kind of physical thing. So we prepare the walk mode for that. But imagine that you just have 10 minutes. You don't want to interact deciding where to go. You don't like to decide, okay, I want to go here. You just want to be told, like a story, a little narrative of the best ideas, the best concepts of the house, and that's it. So we prepare the presentation mode, which is a collection of 15 or 20 points of view. Every one of them has a locution, a text, an animation, so you can move forward and move backward. So the interaction is just to use the wheel of your mouse to go forward and back, to go forward or backward, and that's it. In 5 or 10 minutes, you have an idea of the building. You decide the path of this experience, but the interaction is so easy. But imagine that you are a user that you really want to interact with everything, and you really want to take advantage of all the possibilities of Unreal on this kind of platforms, and you want to interact with the sun. You want to see how the sun comes into the building one specific day and at one specific time. Imagine that you want to feel how is the light and the mood on different weather situations, like snowing or raining. Imagine that you want to interact with materials, with colors, with furniture styles, all this kind of stuff. No? For this kind of situation, we prepare the designer mode. This is a much complex mode with a lot of buttons, with a lot of menus. And if you really feel like it, you have this possibility. And of course, we have the cinema mode, which is like a more cinematic mode with a simple, beautiful video of the building that in maybe 2 minutes you can enjoy good visuals of the building, and that's it. So this was the first decision we made. Then we try to rethink about the navigation, because everyone who work with Unreal, we feel very comfortable using the arrows and WASD to move through the space, but we realize making a lot of tests with final users that this is not comfortable to many people. And if we take in account that we have a little bit of latency, this could be very uncomfortable for someone. So we can this option, we can move with the arrows, but also we use another way to move through the space with a double click with the pointer. So it's something that we have already seen. It's not something that, of course, we have invented, but it's something that we really want to think about it, which could be the most simple way to move through the space. Another thing very important was to have a self-explanatory experience, to use tooltips, to use walkthroughs, to use elements that give the user the information about how to move, how to interact, how to feel comfortable in the experience. This is something that normally is not taken in account, and I think it's a difference between arriving to the experience and saying, oh my God, I don't know what I have to do, or to feel all the time that you are not alone and you have all the time some help telling you what to do. Another thing very important was the UI structure, to make it readable, simple, easy to understand, and also to balance the complexity between mobile mode and PC mode. This is something that we can talk a little bit better in the next page. So yeah, cross-device solution. When we decided we have to think about cross-device solutions, mainly PC and touch devices, we realized that we have 3 main layers that we have to think about. Main layer would be the UI, the most obvious one. If you have a UI in PC, it's not the same than a UI.
Peru,
Yep.
wait a bit. Now we are
Yeah.
okay. Oh, all good, all good. The presentation was a bit off. It's fine. Feel free to continue. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first layer to think about is UI. Of course, it's not the same to have a UI for a PC, where everything is, the window is very big, so components and text could be smaller than a mobile device, where everything must be more simple. Text and components must be much bigger, and everything different. But also, we realized that, for example, navigation should be different, of course, because we don't have mouse. We have to use our finger, and we start making tests with different possibilities to move, to navigate through the space with our fingers. We make some tries with, for example, thumbsticks, the typical thumbsticks that we can see in video games for mobile. And we really like it because it's a very easy way to move, but with a little bit of latency. And if the user have never used a mobile game before, we've made some tests and we realized this could be uncomfortable for many people. So we changed that. We decided not to use the thumbsticks, and we have another option, which I think is more simple, to have some bookmarks in the ground. So we have some bookmarks in the ground. We can pick any one of them. We can move through the space using these bookmarks, and we can just swap with our finger in the window to move the view of the user. And the third layer should be to study well if all the interactions you have prepared should be on every device, because it's not the same to have a big screen with a lot of resolution or of everything very big in front of you than having a little smartphone in your hands. The mood and the energy and the interactions that have sense for any device are different. So after thinking about it, making tests and rethinking about it again, we decide, for example, to remove the designer mode for mobile devices because it's too complex, it's too much for a mobile device. And we use only the work mode, configuration mode, presentation mode, and cinema mode. And these three modes, we adapted, the navigation, we added, as I said before, and we adapt, of course, the UI for
Okay, about the concurrency. Using pixel streaming or this pixel streaming technology, we have a concurrency limitation of only 2 users under our specific plan. This was a challenge because we didn't want people waiting or becoming confused about the access to the to Vissor, to the experience. So to solve this, we thought about a booking system to ensure the entry for the users. So in this case, we use the Calendly platform, connecting it between the Vissor website and the client's email. We thought that it was the best way to solve this disadvantage. The next step to Vissor, we have a lot next step, but the most important for us are these 3. The first one is to incorporate this UI or this interface into the web interface, as Peru told us before, to solve or to have a better resolution, no latency, and a better responsive behavior. And the second one is to finish programming the dashboard because we have already done the design of the dashboard, but we have to program this part. Is the face back of the of Vissor, no? In this dashboard, developers or the clients want to or can manage the properties. For example, they can monitor user behavior or track key performance metrics for each experience. So this is very useful data for them. The last one is develop an urban mode where the user can access information about the neighborhood, for example, transportation networks, business, retails, I don't know. But this layer surrounding the building or the flat. And that's it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for that presentation. That was
Epic.
absolutely, yes. I also really see that you guys work, like teach, because you went through everything so methodologic. You know what I mean to say? Methodical, that's the word that I'm looking for.
Good words. They are
Yeah.
complex sometimes.
My Greek, unfortunately, is even worse than my Spanish. So, and it shows today. So, so thank you for that. There were some really amazing topics that you talked about. The restrictions of concurrency, the reusing the templates to just, speed up your own work, being able to, reuse things from other people. Super exciting and insanely gorgeous graphics.
Quality is in another level.
Yeah.
And I have later some questions to me.
Yes, we chose this image for a reason here in the background.
house.
We can,
We are in the space. It's
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are leaving this for whoever wants to visit our office so that they can see this and instantly think of us. So that is the level of the graphic detail that you guys have brought to the game. So that is amazing. And so I think right now it's a perfect time for people to start asking questions. So please send them in the chat. One of the things that we have some questions in the from
I
the
wanted to say also to the team that Alba and Peru, if you also have some questions, you can feed back to the streaming side of the thing. So
Okay. Yeah.
you know,
I like it.
we could do that too. So just feel free.
very good.
But yeah, do we have?
We have some.
We have.
So one of the things that Adam asked was about the opportunity to work with other brands. How does that work if your client is a developer? Do they organize the flow of designs from furniture brands, or do you have relationships set up so you can offer multiple interior setups?
Well, the idea we have is that it depends. If the developer has already some relationship with brands, we can incorporate. And also we had the idea of talk with brands ourselves and to have some collaboration with some brands. So if, for example, the developer doesn't have any idea of the furniture style, and we can use the furniture of the brands we have, which ones we have these connections, as to use their furniture, or if the developer has already a connection with a brand, we can connect with it. So because the idea is to have a growing platform that has already done in terms of coding, programming, and this kind of stuff. So we can be very quick making different projects, because after many years making Unreal Engine experiences, we realized that to develop new things all the time is a nightmare, because you have to debug all the time, and it takes so many time to fix mistakes that it's horrible. So the idea is, okay, let's make something very well done, completely debugged without any kind of problem. And once we have it, let's do a lot of projects with that. So, but this product should be always alive and with changes. And then we can also create collaborations with developers, so we can make a brand of the product of these developers. So we can make a version of the UI for this developer with some changes, with some collections of materials, collections of furniture, and this kind of stuff. And the idea in the future should be even, because now we can move furniture, we can copy furniture, we can select furniture, and to watch the information of this furniture, the brand, and the idea is to, in the future, to link directly with the website. But even in the future, it would be nice to have a collection of furniture of our brands and to change this chair for one of these 15 chairs anytime. So we have a lot of ideas for the future of products, but yeah, I think I can answer like this.
That is a fantastic answer.
Yeah. I like the framework-oriented method. So build something solid, and then continue with that.
That's also something that we see with other users of ours, whether it's Mao or BizLogic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, reusing old material that, you made really well a few years ago. And then, building up your own library of assets is crucial here. So that...
In this case, you bring your library of assets are your clients, actually.
Absolutely. All the better, the more the better. So then we have a new question. Have you tested ARCWARE with PC, VR, or multiplayer experiences?
Not yet. And really feel like it. Specifically, PC VR, I really want to use it. As you know, because we have some students here of some years before, and we said some years ago, because it was like that to make VR, we always had to build lighting. And now with Lumen, everything is more optimized, and we can use now Lumen for a night for VR. It's something possible, but it's very, very expensive, so we need a high-end PC. And this project is quite expensive. It takes a lot of memory, and this is a test we really want to make, to test this experience for PC VR, but without baking, of course.
Maybe I can throw my 5 cents on this one.
Please do.
Yeah, Eximo.
I think that is a Basque name because there they
Yeah, okay.
pronounce the X
No,
differently.
we have, if you're on our Discord, we have on our community support a thread about it actually. We already support VR, and you can just test it. There is even a link with the VR template. And of course, DLSS helps also a bit. Everything helps to bring the performance. But from Epic Games, this thing is still in experimental state. That means even having 20 milliseconds latency, there is still motion sickness, a lot of motion sickness and stuff. But if you want to test it, the link is out there on Discord. If you want, you can reach out. I can directly send you the link of the Epic Games template. You can test it on MetaQuest 2, 3, and Apple Vision Pro. So we already support. It's there, it's working, but it's not production ready. That's what I wanted to say. Also, guys, you, Peru, you can also. You can always check in, test, at least start somewhere. And we are collaborating also with TensorWorks, the guys behind Pixel Streaming. And they are thinking of some really, really nice ideas on helping this, because making this actually in production ready, but it needs a bit of development, but the latency is the killer. That too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Motion sickness is the most important thing for VR.
Yeah.
Because we have had experience in the past in the studio where we worked before with a little bit of motion sickness in some users, and
the only use case with pixel streaming it's happening, it's sometimes we have set it up in some events where you can locally stream. When you locally stream to the device, then it's perfect, but only on the local network. The moment you go to the web, that's what happens. We have latency, and this is not yet production ready. Even if you have 20 milliseconds, 10 milliseconds, it's already too much.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, that's it.
That takes me to a follow-up question from Adam, which is he would like to know how long before the property starts construction are you able to go live with the digital twin? How soon after do you get traffic? And what does your pre-sales look like with the sales team utilizing this content? Are you seeing results, and how do they compare to expectations?
Okay, how long? It depends on many things, as probably you know, because we have been working also in parallel on automate modeling process. We have been working all these years on internal tool to automate process of having a Revit model and to convert it to an Unreal Engine model, and then to fill it with furniture automatically, and to make kitchens automatically, and this kind of stuff. So if, for example, the Revit model is well done, if the furniture style is something that we can reuse with our furniture or with our style, and maybe you want to make only 5 units, for example, I think it's something we can make in 3 weeks, something like that. But it depends on many things, because sometimes the developer has a very specific furniture they want to use, and as you know, to take one by one every furniture and to adapt to a building takes a lot of time. This was the first question. I don't remember the other two. Sorry.
Then let's quickly get to them. So that was the question of how long before the property starts construction are you able to go live? And how soon after do you get traffic?
I don't understand.
So how quickly traffic is like people going to the website, seeing the digital twin?
Once we have it and we test it, it's all right. I mean, because the benefit of having already done the UI, the blueprints, and all the code is behind, the debugging test shouldn't be very expensive in time. So I think we can send it in 3 weeks, and once they see everything is okay, maybe in 2-3 days we can go live.
And then what does your pre-sales look like with the sales team utilizing this content? Or is there even a sales team that is using this content? How does it work from the developer side, I would say?
I think it's very soon for us to answer this question. We are just starting to move the project. We have some clients, and we have some conversations, but I think it's very soon to us to say, okay, we have these results with real results in sales. I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie.
Fair enough.
You need more data.
Yeah.
Right. So then let's go to some other questions. We have the question, do you have the possibility for clients, etc., to upload new Revit 3ds Max models from the front end?
Not yet. No. The idea for now is, the idea is to have a service. And so we talk with the client, they send us the models, we prepare everything in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. And we prepare the package, we upload to the web, and we share the link. That's the process. The idea of the dashboard, as Alba was saying, is to have a developer section where you manage your properties and you can upload your project, for example. So
The files,
the files. So we will start since here, just the idea of uploading your files to the dashboard, but we have to make a service. But we also have the idea for the next future, I think it's something very complex, to automate the process in a way that you can even upload a model and to have everything done with a click. It would be something, of course, awesome. We have the idea and we would love to do it. But as you understand, the process of automating this is very, very complicated.
So, thank you very much. Then let's move on to the next question. How did you guys... Oh, sorry, I left us out of the picture. So, how did you guys model the skyline of Manhattan, assuming that from the examples in the videos that you've been, the stuff behind me,
The monolith.
that this is all Manhattan, assuming it is. Was it a gray out model to give the location of the apartment?
We use Cesium, and in this specific demo project, Cesium is not incorporated to the project in 3D model. We can do it, and we have done it in other projects, but in this specific project, we made a longer process, but with a little bit more of quality. We make a project with Cesium. We render 360 images of Cesium with high quality in Unreal Engine of different moments of the day. Then we make a blueprint, a very complex blueprint, to make different transitions between these 360 images with the slider of the sun movement. So anytime you make a sun movement, the sun is the sun which is light in a Unreal Engine model is an Unreal directional line, but the image that you are seeing is always a 360 or a mix between two 360s. So that's why the image has a lot of quality, and also in terms of memory, I think it works better. And even we make this process to automate this process if in the future we need to develop other cities. But I'm not sure now if it's the best way to do it. I think it's nice because the quality is a little bit better than Cesium, but it's a little bit longer. So in terms of cost, I'm not sure if it should be the process that we will use all the time. Maybe it's like a premium context or I don't know. Something we will see in the future. But this is our
So next question. I'm trying to jumble all the topics back and forth so that we keep things nice and fresh. So we have a question, which is, I'm a 400 level architecture student learning interactive visualization in the Unreal Engine 5. I've been using YouTube and Udemy, but I still lack enough materials to practice real interactive projects. What resources or learning paths would you recommend to improve?
Do you want to answer, Alba? Or
Yeah. In which language? In English. Yeah. Documentation of Unreal. I don't know.
And what about Spanish
What?
language courses?
We are teacher in a school in Madrid, but the master is online, so the school is schooling. Yeah, we give lessons of Unreal. Yeah, this kind of process. So if you want, yeah, but the language is in Spanish. So
because I think it's awesome how you can learn by your own so many things, and I would say that 90% of the knowledge I have learned it by my own. That's true, and probably many people who are here is the same. But even if now there are a lot of information, there are a lot of tutorials in YouTube, there are a lot of knowledge that you can pick and then learn a lot. I think if you have time, if you can pay it, it's always a good recommendation to have a well-done course of something, because it's not the same to take 2,500 videos and to study everything by your own than having a teacher with everything very well organized, with every very well structured, and to make a very solid and complex knowledge of the thing. I think if you find a well done course and you have time for it and you can pay it, I think I would recommend it. As Alba said, we have a course in Spanish in schooling. It's the name of our of the school. It's a very good school here in Madrid. And of course, if anyone wants to join us, it would be awesome. But I'm sure there are also fantastic schools out there in other languages. And if you find it, I can't tell you a school that I like. I don't know. I don't know a good course in English. I don't know right now. But if you find it, I think it's a good recommendation to make a course.
yeah.
Pero maybe a good idea would be to, translate some of your courses and push them up to Udemy or something. You know what I mean? For international use, because
Yeah.
maybe there is an interest, and if you
Could be nice.
epic work, and
As you can see, our English is not our
not the best.
right?
but you could prepare. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nicely prepare and expose some stuff online for the.
Or with AI, as Mary said.
But yeah. Great.
Good.
Yeah.
Then for the 3D model exterior model of Manhattan, this is a question by Frank, but it doesn't follow English grammar rules. So I hope you understand it better, because I think it makes perfect sense in Spanish, but not in English. For the 3D model exterior model of Manhattan, they create a separate Unreal Engine file. How was the optimization for the model?
Of Manhattan?
He means the exterior.
Separate.
Yeah. The environment.
Yeah.
The environment.
It's not a model. It's 360.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a cube map, right?
Yeah. It's a
Animation.
collection of cube maps. I have 16 cube maps.
Best workaround ever.
Yeah. 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 So there you go, my friend. It's a cube map.
So there you go, my friend. It's a cube map. So
Yes.
Then, does the client handle the streaming costs directly? If the projects are streamed 24/7, I can imagine costs accumulate quickly.
Yeah, but in terms of showing real estate, I think the cost is not a problem for the
Crazy,
developer.
no.
It's not. Imagine that you are sharing a model of a car or something, or a bike. That's something that everyone wants to buy. Maybe you can have thousands of connections per day, but if you are selling a 4 million apartment in Manhattan, you are not going to have so many connections. And I'm exaggerating. I mean, even if you have, I don't know, 1 million apartments in Malaga, maybe you have, I don't know, 200 connections in 1 month, 200 connections of 25 minutes, and with the price of hardware, or I think it's something completely available for any developer. The costs are, I think, it's not a problem. It would be a problem if you want to share, for example, the last iPhone, for example, in pixel streaming, and you have 1 million connections just to see and to play with the new iPhone.
True.
It would be much
Yes.
expensive. But
So
yeah,
our clients that they used in the past pixel streaming, the pixel streaming wasn't a problem for them. So
No.
the costs are not very high.
We have this is the feedback that also we have in the premium and really high quality
Yeah.
big business stuff. It's nothing, not even
No.
don't even mention the cost. They
It's a
just
rounding error.
go with the flow.
That's a
Yeah.
rounding error. Like if you make 100,000 euros, then you don't mind spending 1,000 euros to get the 100,000, right? So it's very much more an investment than a cost.
Let's even can talk
Yeah.
numbers. Some big clients in the real estate, they don't even exceed the 10,000 euros per year. in
Exactly.
cost, so to say, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's nothing if they are selling, city
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah,
Good. Let's move to the next question then. How do you see multiplayer experiences evolve with this technology? Have you had the chance to test pixel streaming together with multiplayer or collaborative features?
first I would give the
We
answer.
haven't tried it. Something that we would like to try and we have in mind. That's not yet. We have made multi-user experiences in local servers, but not in.
Yeah. No.
And I would say check our. We are partnering with BizLogic. For me, they have the best solution with pixel streaming, with multiplayer. So of course it works. We have a lot others, but I personally prefer the guy's solution with even very custom avatars. They are not using the ready
Player game.
avatars and stuff, fully customized experiences. Even in real estate lately, they are pushing it with Gaussian splats and stuff, so many people can go and see the stuff. But multiplayer is here and it's working pretty well. And references, I would say, check BizLogic. There is also a webinar we did together, but their Meadow project, it's called Project Meadow. It's one of the best I have seen. And it's working, it's running on our platform, so no problem. And a bit technically, what is happening is that they spin up the client side on our instances. And the only thing they have is the replication server somewhere running. But lately we are working on even bringing the RPC server on the ARCWARE side. And that's kind of technically how it works. So they can elevate 100, 200, 300 users and have some nice collaborative experiences like events or gatherings and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That also takes us to something very nice, because it's nice that you touched upon the Gaussian splatting. Another Mauro question. How do you see the future of the Unreal Engine and pixel streaming in relation to the rise of Gaussian splatting technology? Have you had the chance to explore this tech yet?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it depends on, for example, for real estate, if it's a house that already exists or if it's a new house that they need to build. We know that, for example, Vissor is a perfect tool, a platform for new houses because you need to model them. And probably there are other options to sell housing that already exists. But now in Unreal Engine, you can get inside also Gaussian splatting. There are some plugins to import Gaussian splatting in Unreal. We made some tests and they work quite fine. So yeah, you can mix them. You can even have like an environment made with Gaussian splatting, and then to get inside something in 3D. So you can mix all of them. I think, as always, technologies have come to help us, and we can mix them. Unreal Engine, I love it because it's a powerful engine which is always trying to improve and to change and to get new things inside. And Gaussian splatting is something that is already possible to implement in Unreal.
I believe that Mauro meant it differently. That he meant to use Gaussian splitting from a 3D environment to, yeah. Mauro, can you rewrite the question?
Okay. He said about rendering something in 3D and then to export it to Gaussian splatting.
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
That's awesome. I think Gaussian splatting would be like an enhancement of a 360 environment. For example, we had 360 tours in the past. You can have, I don't know, 100 360 images and to connect one to each other. And now with Gaussian splatting, you can have the same, but in 3D. So you don't have transitions. You have the transitions. You can move freely in a 6DoF experience, everything made in 3D. But the problem is that Gaussian splatting has everything crystallized. Everything is like rendered in this Gaussian splatting. So it will have the advantage and disadvantage of that 360 tool. I mean, it's very high quality rendering, but you don't have interactions. You can move freely. You have this freely movement because it's 6DoF and you don't have only some spots. You can move freely through the space, but you can change materials, lighting, colors, this kind of thing. So if you don't mind this lack of interaction, I think it's an awesome opportunity.
That's exactly also what Muñoz was muttering next to me, and what Adam is saying in the chat. That's very good for static.
It is static, and especially these logic guys again, they use it like mainly for the far distant environment, which is way better than some other solutions, so to say, like Google Earth, clones and stuff like that. With Gaussian splats, you have another level of quality, to be honest. For the far distant static content, yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly also what we now see being written in the chat by Uxia. I'm butchering the name. I apologize. I should go. Do you know what I need? I need a nice holiday to Spain. That's what I need. Especially if you guys have at least over 15-degree weather, I am going next week if possible. So then let's go to some other questions. I'm, by the way, super happy that the chat is super lively. There are discussions going that I will not interfere with. I think you guys are way better at this than I am. So super to have you guys be this active, loving it. Then one of the things I found interesting is that Peru and Alba are testing their UI and UX before they're launching the product or the final stage of the project you're working on. So why do you test it beforehand, and how do you get the participants, and how do you measure their input and output, if you want to call it like this?
We worked with Bwow Studio, that they are specialized in this part, in user experience, this kind of things. So they know a lot. They have knowledge about this, so it was easier do this kind of thing with them. And the process was hard because they didn't know a lot about this kind of experience, but Peru and me know a lot. So we worked together to find the better solution in this kind of applications. And then we tested with people close from us, friends, family. It was nothing professional because we did this demo with our time, and so little by little we were improving this user experience, these buttons, the way of navigation, all of that Peru explained before.
And also, before Vissor, we make a project also with hardware, Deco Hub. It was our first project with hardware.
Yeah.
And it was a really interesting opportunity to also to learn, because we did it with all our love. I think visuals and interactions and even narrative is very interesting in this project, and I really like it. But we understood some things related with user experience, and we thought that some navigation options were enough. And with this project, we had a lot of users and a lot of people testing it, and we had a very interesting feedback. And this feedback was very useful to make the next projects we have done. So, yeah.
Because this really goes back to the to a discussion that we sort of started last week as well with during Adam's ARCWARE Spotlight, where we talked about, are you making art? Are you making a product? And obviously you want to be able to make both at the same time, but the most beautiful visuals will be essentially worthless if the application is not being used right. And I think that especially testing before you're finished, what you are making, to just, you have the assumption that you should do it like this because you thought about this long and hard, but you cannot be 100 people at the same time, right? And that is just something that, everyone has that problem. There's no one who is safe from this. There are people who are closer to having the outcome or having the knowledge because they have worked on that specific field already, but then they need to, compensate for not having the experience in other fields that you guys might already be far better at. And so I think it's super impressive that you guys test this stuff in advance, and that sets you guys apart as well, because indeed, you need to do both. You need to do art, you need to make art, but you also need to make a product so that it's used, if someone's paying for it, and paying for your expertise as well, right? So
yeah, exactly.
But the initial project gave them the right direction with the feedback to kind of nail it to the second one. And say, guys, feel free to fix whatever is to be fixed on the deco, and we can nail it in the showcase page. Feel free.
Okay.
Into the client.
Yeah, if possible, of course.
Then we have one last question from Mauro, but I think he shot his bullets too fast, because I think there's another question coming. But this one is very sweet, so I will definitely indulge in this question. He has the right to ask another one. So his question is, are you planning to leave any CG awards for the others, or are you planning to win them all yourself?
Well, I just can say thank you.
Good. So, Mauro, your real last question is allowed to happen right now.
Yeah, we are very happy. Yeah.
We were surprised too, so we didn't believe it.
Yeah, it's awesome, because when you work for something during so long, we have been working in Vissor for more than 1 year, maybe 1 year and a half.
Yeah.
It's so many hours working on the same thing alone. We are a team of 4 people, but we are alone because we are only a small team. And yeah, to come out and to have this kind of recognition is awesome. It's awesome. we start because we also we want to participate in the Laos awards, which was something for designers. It was a very designer world thing in Barcelona, here in Spain, and we just tried to send our project, and they nominate the project, and we went to Barcelona. There were a lot of designers, they know to each other, and it was something we felt a little bit out of this world, but it was very impressive, and we really like to see our project to be recognized by designers, because user experience and design and the UI was something that since the beginning we want to work well and with the most elegant way that we have found, and it was awesome.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mauro, are you going to keep typing, or are we should have an actual question? Because
Yes, he's preparing
The longest question in the world.
yes, exactly. He's just restructuring.
position.
Ah, he has to go now. Yeah, sure. Okay. So the thing is, you guys take care of that amongst yourself.
Okay.
And so yes, I would like to ask anyone, for everyone in the audience, if you still have any questions, because then we can take care of them. Because we've been through everything so far. If you feel like I accidentally didn't answer your question, then please feel free to ask the question again. But I see everything being answered here. Then, as some people might still be writing some questions, should I just answer some questions that we get a lot during other webinars? For instance, did you know that you can also use a video game controller to walk through your Unreal Engine application? It's totally possible.
I think they know.
Then what else do we have? Yes, we don't have to focus on mobile and...
Maybe I have a question. You actually used some parts of our template for your own project, guys?
No,
On the input side of the things?
no. We start from scratch. We use a template to understand everything,
Okay.
but then we start from scratch.
Nice.
Because
solution for us.
I like to have in control everything.
Yes. You're totally. But I like the dynamic depth of field.
Yeah.
Things always focusing on the detail.
Yeah.
Good. Then I think we have no new questions. And then
maybe, as I told, if not. But if you have any questions, because we are working together, and maybe we can answer some from.
If anyone have tried this, you guys, Alexander, you have tried.
Of course,
have you seen something that you don't like it? Maybe something is working wrong, or something that in terms of user experience could be better, something to improve?
No.
I focused on all the modes, and it's, I would say, all together can be sometimes, because you give everything at once, you go from mode to mode. Maybe it can be a bit overwhelming for some users, maybe something linear would be, but I understand it's one project, it's one case, but only that, except of that, for me it's perfect, but I just go in the perspective of some other users. That's how I see it.
Okay, I appreciate that.
But the mode, the like dynamic mode of moving and stuff, this is amazing. Great work there, really. And we can talk about I saw you are planning on bringing assets dynamically to your application. That's a thing we are working with many clients, and we have some solutions there. So we can take it off stream. We can talk about how you could maybe implement it on your own solution.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Well, I don't have more questions.
Alba.
Any question, Alba?
No, 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 thank you.
So,
No, nothing is comments yet. I don't. Yeah.
Okay, in Vissor?
A bug. Yeah, snow was coming into the interior. Yeah,
Okay,
this is a bug.
we will check it. It's a common bug with ultra dynamic sky,
Yeah.
because there are some volumes to say, okay, don't snow here.
As
But
it was
sometimes-
coming into the interior. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think maybe I haven't checked the dynamic. But
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, we will check it. Thank you so much.
right.
shall we close it down?
Yeah.
Then we have a few things to say to
Thank-
the audience.
Yeah,
First of all,
thank you
thank you
very
for
much.
joining us. Thank you for Alba and Peru for joining us and giving such a fantastic presentation, showing an amazing project that really, so many of the things that Manolis wants people to do, you actually implement, and it just really shows that it really is the right way to do things, if you want to call it like this. Fantastic presentation, gorgeous English.
Good try.
Very well. I'm very proud of how well you guys prepared. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Thank you to everyone in the audience for joining us. A few people have already left, but anyone who joined, we're always super happy to have you. You can always watch replays of our webinars on our YouTube page. I just dropped a link in the chat as well to this. Please like and subscribe, comment, whatever it is that you want to do. It really helps us get the word out and get more views and help spread the word about pixel streaming. The same way, I also send a link to our subreddit. We started the pixel streaming subreddit, and right now it's very pro ARCWARE, but no matter which platform you use, feel free to post whatever you want there. We just want everyone to get excited about pixel streaming. Otherwise, you can like us on or follow us on LinkedIn. Every time you like or comment on one of our posts, it means that we reach more people and more people get excited about pixel streaming. So all of those silly likes always add up. Other than that, we will have another webinar next week, exactly, perhaps.
17th, I think.
So
This is the special one, by the way. Like
Exactly.
the summer special, so we have the winter special.
yeah, special.
Christmas.
December 17th.
17th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. On
What-
this one, we go. Everyone comes in with camera on, microphone on, and we have a nice chat all together. It's
Wonderful.
kind of. This is the.
It's kind of like our Christmas party, but it will be available on YouTube afterwards. That's basically the summary of it. So get yourself a nice pina colada, a beer, a nice hot cup of cocoa, whatever it is that floats your boat. Everyone's welcome. We just talk. We ask Manolis questions on how to solve things. And
No, not this day. Let's just have some fun.
so feel very welcome to be invited to that as well. And then I have plugged enough things, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Everyone,
See you next time.
lights out.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, Alba.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye.